bring as well there is we want to differentiate what is a public audience versus someone in the app. As you know, we have audio on web, and in audio on web, anyone from anywhere in the world can join the conversation. Now, they can listen to it, but they cannot participate, they cannot come on stage, they cannot go into a chat room. But it still will be great for the creator to understand, out of my 200 users that I have in my room, how many of those are listening and how many of those are able to engage as well. So that's something that we are considering to bring as well. Okay. So, I see JV in there. What's up, JV? How are you? Now it's a party. JV is in the house. So the question is, do you prefer people join your talk from audio room or live? It's a great question. I like live stream just because they get to see me. They get to see that I'm real, that I'm focused on them, that they get to see the environment where we work. So I like the visuals. What I like about audio room is the flexibility of being able to be on the go. But for me, in this audio room, I'm always trying to set myself up as much as I can. But it's a good question because in July, I'm going to be traveling around the world. I'm going to be in Europe. And I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do live stream as much as I would like to. So I'll definitely be doing the tech talk from audio for sure. And then I'll see, maybe I'll challenge the live stream in some places. I'm going to be in Bosnia and Herzegovina, and there's no really good connection there in Bosnia. And so that's going to be definitely a test for both audio and live stream. All right. Let me see. I'm seeing some people giving their opinion as well, which is a great question. What do you like the most? Do you like having this type of conversation through live stream or audio? I know some of you use both, so. All right. Oh, I'm loving this audio room. You know what? Big scale, I'm going to bring you up, but I need to see if I'm going to be able to listen to you. I told you, I'm new to this. Everyone left me here, left Maddie and I. We're holding the fort. Right, Maddie? Yeah, so let me see if I can put my headsets and bring you up, big scale, so we can talk, okay? Give me a second. I'm not going to give names who I've named, but no, and Andy. I asked them to set me up before the winter. Let's try this out, Scale, okay? I'm going to bring you up. I'm going to see if I can listen to you. Okay. All right. I'm going to bring Big Scales up.
Okay, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Oh, I'm not listening to you. It's not working. I can figure. Let me see. All right. Yeah, I don't think it's working. Sorry, Big Scale, I don't think it's working. Let me see. Can you talk now? Let me see.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear now.
Ooh, okay. Figured it out.
Okay. See, Isaac, Andy, Noah. Oh, I need you. Just kidding. What's going on, Miss
I
Cal?
don't call you CTO for nothing.
What's going on?
Yeah, so I did put this in the chat last week, but I was busy. I didn't see it. But is there a way that maybe when people are mentioning us, like if they're not our friends or something, that we can accept or deny whether we are mentioned in their post? We got a lot of new users, which is amazing, but I'm getting tagged in a lot of stuff. I can't even, my DMs are in shambles right now.
All right. So I love that you actually asked this, because we had this specific conversation because we're refining all our objectives for Q3. And I mentioned that one of the objectives, let's say overall, is to improve community within Fanbase, or community building within Fanbase. And sometimes community building means being able to have the power of deciding what you want to join, what you want to see, what you don't want to see. And one of the increments that we're going to be working on is, I call it mutual following. And I'm glad you asked this, because a lot of the folks that were in that conversation are here in this audio room. So they know that it's not only coming from me, it's coming from the users. So that's one of the pain points we're going to actually be working on, because imagine it happens to you, imagine for me. A lot of times I get tagged and I get notified as well. So we're going to be reworking that, so we actually make it so the connections are really meaningful connections and they're not just a bunch of spam and everyone tagging you and so on. So 100% when I work that on Q3, so expect that to get better.
Cool. And I'm sure if I'm getting mentioned like that, you are definitely getting mentioned.
I know. Sometimes Gustavo, sometimes overwhelming, but I hear you, and that's a pain point from, any platform that grows. At the time, it made sense, but then as you grow, it just stops making sense because it's such a large user base. But we're definitely going to start tweaking a lot of that and beyond in Q3.
And I'm always going to mention resharing other people's posts to our stories.
Yeah, so Isaac and I had another conversation early this week. And we mentioned we actually review all the different verticals, and we mentioned some of the improvements and where we were back in the day with those verticals. And one of the things that we didn't mention is stories, right? Stories, we haven't done much in a long time. And stories is a quick way to share content. And, I use it myself. I've been using it a lot lately as well. So I know that we have a big debt on the story side, and we're hoping that we're going to be able to do that. So, but you please keep bringing it up. We don't get tired of listening it. It's always useful. I mean, I know that we'll have other people that will keep asking about scheduling audio rooms and all that stuff, but just we remember.
Well, good. Yeah, thank you. It's always good to talk to you, Rama.
Yes, great talking to you as well. Thank you. I'm going to take this time mentioning, some of these increments, and I mentioned, having some technical debt in some areas. And as a company, we always have to prioritize based on where we think is the right direction to take things to continue growing. It's a win-win for everyone because as fan base grows, the user base grows, creators have more visibility, better chances of monetization. So a lot of times with the team that we have right now, we gotta choose what to prioritize. That's one of the main reasons, or one of the reasons, I wouldn't say the main reason, that we're actually doing a race. So for those that didn't know, we are doing a Regulation A, I call it Reg A, race for $17 million. And part of the proceedings that we're going to get from that race is to really invest in speeding up the development cycle, bringing more skill set, and enlarging our team to just being able to tackle more things, more meaningful things. Again, it's not that because we're going to get quicker and better, we're just going to do everything, but definitely we want to start implementing some of those catch-up functionalities that we know some creators expect to have, and they have in other platforms. And we want to keep innovating as well, but that just takes a big team. So kudos to the product team. I don't call the team development team because they're more than developers. I call them a product team. So kudos to them. A lot of them are in this audio room and in the live stream. I want to say that I and everyone else, I really, really appreciate you because you guys are doing amazing things with just, a few of us, right? We have a team of 20-some, and with what we have and what we're doing, some other platforms, they require thousands. So kudos to them. I want to go ahead and pin the link for the race, just in case you're interested to know more. We have every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, we have our Tuesday Town Hall with our amazing founder and CEO, Isaac Hayes III, where we actually specifically talk about the race, where the business is, where are we going, what are we going to be doing with the money. So I encourage you to join us on Tuesday if you want to hear more about that. In this room, obviously, we talk all about technology development and what we're trying to achieve where we are today. All right. So let me go ahead and put the pin link. .com/fanbase. Boom. All right, there we go. So you can take a look at it. All right, let's see. Anyone else that wants to come up now that I figured out how I can do all of these? I always love to hear you guys. Don't be shy. All right, I'm gonna go into the chat room and see if there's any other questions before I go into the roadmap, and then I'll go into the live stream, see if there's anything else there. All right, I answer Sam. Sam, you always have great questions. I appreciate it. All right, I love JV triggering the right questions there. Why is everyone pretending to be shy today? Well, maybe it is because we give a lot of spaces to answer a lot of questions. A lot of times people, there's like, we don't have any more questions. You guys answer all of them. All right, I'm seeing here. Yeah, no. Every time I say reggae, everyone thinks about reggae. What is reggae? You guys gonna do some reggae here? I like saying reggae. All right. I'm gonna just share some feedback. I love the new live update where it shows in the feed at the top by the stories. Yeah, but the lives are all the way to the right, so you have to scroll. So, I see what you're saying. Okay, interesting. Yeah, as we progress in the live and we get insights and we get feedback from users, we'll continue improving the live stream. We've been talking about small increments such as allowing you to download the live stream. Remember, the fact that the live stream is available 24 hours after you finish it, and it's in the feed, that will also mutate in the future, where we're going to actually, now that the field refactor is done, see how everything ties back to the field refactor. We are going to be able to bring the live into the main, the was live into the main feed as well. So more visibility, more meaningful visibility, right? Because when you go to the live stream feed, you got to go through a lot of lives. And again, because you're seeing everyone's live, sometimes you might not see meaningful things there, but bringing it to the feed will make it meaningful for you. And then eventually the algorithm will be improved, so even the lives are actually catered to your interests as well. So, we're getting there. Again, step by step. So, all right. Let me see what's going on in the live stream. So you guys know I have my phone on my right. I have Maddie's phone. Thank you, Maddie. I had to steal Maddie's phone on the live stream. It's on both iOS, guys. I want you to start fighting about it. Not yet. You can only start fighting about iOS and Android in the last 5 minutes, okay? So then you don't take over the chat room. Thank you very much. And then I'm actually using Fanbase on my MacBook Pro. If you didn't know, Fanbase works on MacBook Pros with M1 chip and above. I sometimes find it super comfortable, especially when I'm DMing and so on. I can just type on my keyboard. There's some other things that they don't work as well as on a mobile device, but just check it out if you haven't. It's pretty cool. So I'm looking at my at Fanbase on my MacBook to see if you guys have any comments on the live stream. All right. Oh, I see you guys giving me love. Thank you, guys. I'm gonna, you know what? Thank you so much. All right. I'm gonna give shout out. Oh, I see. D-Bank's Design. I see you. Thanks for the loves. Lance, Quimo, thank you. Santi, I appreciate it. All right. So let's talk a little bit about the future. We talked what's coming up in the next 2-3 weeks, but let's look beyond that, okay? Let's go back to the source of what were we trying to achieve every time we're trying to build increments. I'm not going to deny it. A lot of times, we want to build cool stuff, but it has to be meaningful, cool stuff. It has to drive, things for Fanbase, for the creator, for our user base. So I always like to say that I consider the decision of a direction on a feature is a bucket. And in that bucket, you have a lot of different inputs. You have the user feedback. So when you guys share your feedback through tech support, you check your phone or your email us at support.fanbase.app, that's being considered. You might be used to other platforms just never listening and forgetting about you. We don't. In fact, every month, our amazing tech support team comes into our status calls and they give a presentation on the feedback on issues, but also improvements and ideas. We even have super feedbackers board where we can see who gives the most feedback, and we actually appreciate that, because we love feedback. So in that bucket, user feedback is one. You need vision. So Fanbase started from a vision. Isaac sat down with me on a table and says, hey man, I had this vision, this is what I wanted to do, and that's where it all started. But that vision never stops. So vision is one of another input that goes into the bucket. User feedback, vision. Insights. Insights is super important. As we grow in the hundreds of thousands and potentially millions, it's going to be very hard to start building patterns individually, right? So insights is great to allow us to build patterns of what's working, what is not working. And I want to give a shout out, I always do, to, actually, I'm going to change this. There we go. That's a good shout out. To Andrew, our amazing senior insight specialist who really help us put insights to a new level. So we truly know what's working, what is not working. So a lot of our conversations are around insights. So insights is a very big input in this bucket that decides what kind of feature we're going to tackle. All right. And of course, there's other type of insights where, the team, marketing team, the product team, we even sometimes bring guests into our refining to get some opinions as well. In fact, we're as we grow, we're starting to create internship programs that we're bringing some interns as well, because we want to hear from what they love, what they like, what they don't like. Different fresh perspectives always give value to before you decide the direction of the feature. So we put all of that in a bucket, and then after we have on the bucket, we make a decision. You know what? This is the best way to tackle the next big feature to tackle or not. All right. So as you can see, it's not an easy decision. It's not someone saying, I want you to do this. It's more than that. And that's just part of growing as a company and trying to make better decisions. So we don't always get it 100% right, but definitely because we're considering all these different inputs, we have a better chance of success. So if you don't think you're being heard, this is an example of how you're being heard, and you always get a chance to participate in decisions of what moves the needle, okay? All right. I'm going to bring a few of you up, and then I'm going to go into the actual roadmap to tell you a little bit of some of the features and objectives we have for Q3 as well. All right. I'm going to bring Silver Fox. I'm sorry. I'm assuming that those on live, maybe I'm wrong. That's interesting. On live.
Hey.
What's going on, Silver Fox?
What's good? What's good?
How are you?
I have one suggestion. Like this audio room, and usually, when I think we was in the Arrested Development room, and we was having this great conversation, or somebody, having some good points. If they had like I have a question, like an emoji or something, in the audio room would be kind of cool to let people know. You know what? I got a question. I know they have to raise your hand.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
so you won't be like cutting people off when you're in the room. Yeah. Like when you up on top, so you don't cut nobody off. You raise your, say, I got a question. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. So we did talk probably like two or three Thursdays ago about meaningful emojis, right? Someone mentioned the pause,
right,
and so on. So, yeah, Isaac mentioned a little bit of the roadmap of emojis, and one of those was to eventually allow dynamic emojis as well. So, I think we'll be able to get that without specifically choosing one emoji. So, but I take it. Appreciate it.
Right.
All right.
Sounds good. But everything, y'all doing a great job.
Thank you.
I appreciate y'all.
Appreciate it.
Right on.
Bye-bye.
Right on.
What's going on, D-Banks?
Hey, what's up, Rama?
How
Can
are
you hear
you?
me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thanks, man. First of all, great room as always. So I was in the room, I think it was yesterday, with Kyle and the other team, his team, and I brought up a suggestion to see if this is possibly something y'all want to do. Like for people like myself who are graphic designers, and there's other great graphic designers on here. Like if you look at my page and you scroll down a little bit, you'll see that I have some images that are like 9 to 12 small squares that are seamlessly put together to make one bigger image. No other social media platform that I've seen allows people to do this. IG has it, but they have those little white lines in between. So when a person tries to do it seamlessly, it looks janky. But the way you guys automatically have it set up, it will make it much easier. But I was asking them, do you think it's possible if you guys want to do something like this? I've gotten good feedback from other people, and I've seen other people do it too. Is this something that you guys can implement to where you can give people the option to either post the way they're doing now with the smaller squares, or if they wanted to do something like this, they can just choose that option and make one big image?
I hear you. So it's actually interesting that you bring this, and it's good timing. I'll tell you why. Because that ties into what I was going to be talking next, which is some of the objectives for Q3. We are going to be focusing a lot on profile improvements. We want to make sure that we give you as many tools to create, and the profile it's the number one real estate where you actually present yourself to everyone, right? So we didn't specifically think about this use case, to be honest, but it's good to hear all these use cases as we build the profile, because we're going to be bringing, we always like to put names to things. We call it the profile version 2.0. So on version 2.0, we'll definitely be able to build considering these things. When we build the feed, or rebuild the feed, we also put a lot of these use cases. Hey, what will happen if we bring other type of content? And if we do this and we allow the user to do that? So while we're not saying we're actually going to do it, we consider it. So when time comes and time is right, we don't have to refactor or shape things out. So we haven't thought about it. It's good feedback, but it's good timing because, we're talking about profile improvements right now internally.
Cool. Sounds great. I'll move myself back down to that.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. I love this question and feedback. Sometimes when I hear, because I was talking in the marketing audio room, I was like, oh, what did Kyle say or promise? And I was like, Kyle, don't promise anything, man. Nah, we're pretty aligned. That's one of the great things about, having them involved in every call and being involved in every call. And in fact, I always say we don't have a marketing team, we have a product marketing team, and in the refining, actually, the marketing folks, they bring a lot of value. I know Kyle was super excited today's refining because we talked about RTMP, and he's a gamer himself. So, all right, I'm gonna bring a few more of you, and then I'm gonna continue talking about the roadmap and see if there's anyone that has any questions on the live stream. All right. Mr. Team, how are you? Long time no talk.
Rama, I was in your room the other day. What do you mean long time no talk?
But we haven't talked, actually. We've seen you, but we haven't been, you haven't been talking on stage with me. What's going on?
You got a lot of other good people that are asking you questions, but I just want to follow up on the last question I asked you. You said you were going to talk with the team, and I know you probably mentioned it, but I wanted to kind of see if I could get a concrete answer as it relates to the aspect ratios of RTMP. When you all do roll that out, are you gonna be doing both 9x16 or 16x9? Don't tell me you haven't mentioned it, Rama. That's not an answer.
No. I mean, no. It's not like I didn't need to mention it because that's one of the first things that we need to ask. But the reality is that RTMP is not just having the stream code and that's it, the stream key. It's a lot more considerations. So we did talk about that. We're inclining, or we're going towards the Fanbase Plus style type format. Okay, we don't discard other formats in the future. So we did talk briefly about that. I think everyone agreed that's probably for the use case, one of the better ones. And then we talk about many other things that RTMP brings, because again, it's not just the ratio, it's the experience and how we give, added value to the users versus what they have in other platforms and so on. So hopefully I gave you a sense of the direction, but because we're still very early in the refining stages, I can promise that it might change. I don't think it will, but maybe we will have other ratios in the future.
I appreciate that, Rama. And I imagine that you all are considering protocols such as SRT as well. I know that kind of helps in lower latency regions of the world. So,
yeah.
But I know it kind of, it may take a larger team if you're definitely going to support both SRT as well as RTMP. But just consider both of those, Rama, as you all
definitely
move forward with the role.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, and you bring a good point. When we do refine things, we always try to think about user scenarios, and sometimes user scenarios are tied to region and infrastructure, meaning we know that there are specific increments that we need to be very sensitive on data use, bandwidth, and so on, because in other regions, latency, bandwidth, it's just super important to have a good experience, And we know we still have a lot to improve on that, but the live stream, one of the things that I really loved and one of the reasons why we reworked on it is we wanted to bring the concept of dynamic bit rate. So no matter where you are, no matter how bad your connection can be, you can still go live. Now, obviously, the quality of the live stream is not going to be the same as it would be in a good Wi-Fi spot, but you can still do it. In the prior version, we had a lot of dark spots where people were not able to go live, and it's just a bad experience. So we mature as a team, and that sometimes is considering things that maybe in the past we didn't have to consider. So we'll definitely consider that, team. Thank you. All right, Paige, what's going on? How are you?
I'm good, Rama. How you doing?
Doing well.
That's good. I just kind of have a suggestion. It's kind of on a platform of scale that D Banks was talking about. I don't know if I want to mention it here because I know you always say they are listening, but I have DM'd you and I shook my phone before to send an example of what I'm talking about. The suggestion for the profile, the user profile,
okay.
And I sent it in January, and I look back in the DM, it's still there. So if you want to take a look at it,